wastage. When you're outside, you see the wastage. You see, that's also is the problem we have with the present government, where before waingia, it's we are going to change this, we are going to change this, as soon as you are inside, because 4.57 for the deputy president's office.
And this, you must know about that 4.5 billion.
This was for travel and hospitality was to be used. 1.8 billion was to be used on in something called the luxury budget. And this is something that I normally talk about. Like, we live in a third world country. We have Kenyans who, like right now as we talk, there's a Kenyan who slept hungry. How can the leaders have a luxury budget? You understand how it's such a slap in the face?
Let me
like, you know, like developed countries don't have luxury budgets.
Let me correct you. The budget for the office of the deputy president was in office was a wholesome budget. About 2 billion shillings was salaries for workers. And this is an office that has been set up with so many activities. We had coordination of international development partners, a very important program where you harness funds by the donors and unlock where there are challenges that requires funding. We had funding for tea and coffee reforms, very, very important programs that are beneficial to the Kenyan farmers. We had a small budget for fighting alcoholism and drugs. You know, as far as I'm concerned, my hospitality budget was very little. If I can remember, my budget for traveling was quite little. In fact, for the longest, I tried to use military choppers that had no expense instead of hiring choppers. But I am saying the State House budget, most of it is hospitality, you know, and that is where we have a problem. Most of it is hospitality. Most of it is travel, you know. And I want to correct you. I opposed the finance bill from day one. I never supported the finance bill. And even when I went out and I advised MPs to listen to the ground, and they started fighting me. I say, my friend, this finance bill, before you commit yourself on the voting day in Parliament, listen to the ground, listen to the people. And I became very unpopular with the MPs because the president was coercing them to pass the finance bill. Only a fool does not change his mind. I'm not a fool. Life is dynamic. Life is not static. I want to tell you that President Ruto had convinced me and many other Kenyans that the housing program was a good thing, and it would create employment for very many young people, and it will settle people, you know, who have no housing. I was persuaded and I was defending it until it came to my knowledge, because I was part of government, that this was no longer the case. It was meant to collect money from Kenyan taxpayers so that there are enough houses to be built, so that we can create business opportunities for selling cement, steel, and tiles. Again, I have told you my leadership is informed by listening to the people. What we thought is a good program, the people are saying no. I went to the president, I said, these people here are building houses, what they don't want. They don't want to be taxed. They want to be left to build their own houses. They want us to build schools. They want us to pay money to teachers to teach them. They want us to build roads. They want us to give them clean water. They want electricity. They are not interested in housing. So it doesn't mean because I was supporting something, even if I realize it is bad, I support it to the head. I must change my mind when there are enough reasons and circumstances to persuade me otherwise. That's the nature of life. You cannot just stick to one position. If there are glaring circumstances and factors telling you that the stand you have been having is ill-informed, and these are the new facts, can you change your mind and give a different position? Yes. William Ruto himself, he had told us Raila is a problem of this country. Along the way, he changed his mind and he said he's a good guy. That's how dynamic life is.
Yes, I understand that how life is dynamic, but I was just looking at that, like a lot of the things that you say you are against, we've learned about that after you left government. You see, like something like extrajudicial killings.
No, I spoke extrajudicial killing. I spoke when I was in government on the 26th of June. I would like you to Google in Mombasa as deputy president. I left office 4 months later. Yes. I spoke when I was in office.
Yes,
I condemned extrajudicial killing. I condemned the Director General of NIS. I condemned William Ruto when I was in office. I did not speak after I left office.
Yes.
I'd like you to check that.
Yes, but this was when the same extrajudicial killings happened in 2023, you didn't talk about it. Understand?
Well, I told you, I was
That's
talking
what I-
internally. I was deputy president. You don't fight with your boss publicly until you've come to the conclusion that it is not possible to correct him internally. I tried to correct him internally
So
through persuasion,
remember the
through
videos?
reasoning,
Yes.
until we reached a place now, it became too much. I needed to speak out.
You don't remember the videos that you used to be posted on your Instagram, no, Twitter, where you are going very early in the office because of protests. You understand?
I
Those
was
ones
not
were
going, I was not going early because of protests. I
No,
was
those
going
ones-
early every day.
yes, but those was being looked at as a mockery to the protesters, and a lot of protesters lost their lives around that time. But even if we were to move from that, the reason why I was bringing up the protesters was to bring up the budget thing, where if we talk about wastage of public funds, and when I was looking at your budget here, the 4.57, part of it was to be used on furniture and cars. You understand? And when's the last time you changed this furniture? Why is government furniture always changed?
Well,
Understand?
I cannot. When I came to office, that the budget for that office had been cut for 5 years when Uhuru Kenyatta disagreed with William Ruto. There were no vehicles, or the vehicles were dilapidated, and we needed vehicles to move around the country, so we had to purchase new vehicles. That office, that house, and that office had not been renovated for 5 years. And if you don't renovate a house, it will crumble. Even these houses, we repair them every 2 years, because that's the nature of buildings. There must be maintenance of government buildings. Those offices had been neglected for 5 years. And when I came, I looked for a budget to have them renovated so that they are usable and they don't get
What
wasted.
was so bad that needed to be renovated?
Everything was
sorry,
bad.
sorry to ask, but
The house
2 years
was
such
the house was leaking. The house was leaking. The toilets were broken, and there was no borehole. It was broken. There was no water. The water was being brought by tankers. It was in very bad state.
So should we also assume that it's the same case with State House, because we've seen the budget go up, but there they've been
No, State
renovations
House had
happening?
not been neglected because Uhuru was there and it was well maintained. Yeah, he denied William Ruto money for 5 years, which was also not right because he was deputy president. The office had been denied budget for 5 years, so really it was in very bad state, and it was necessary to have it restored so that the office
that needs billions to renovate.
there
Like,
are no billions. There's no billions.
needed
It was
like
100
$100
and something million.
But sasa tukiangalia hapa, these are the budgets we're seeing.
What is the
You're
budget?
seeing like
What is the budget for maintenance of office? It's 100 million.
was it 100 million?
Yeah, it
It's
is.
imeruka, but it's
It is.
when we look at
No,
this,
let's be specific. Don't say it's billions. I believe it was 100 million.
because what I know is you lost 1.8 billion for travel and hospitality. So you see when we look at hospitality, we don't care if it's happening at State House or if it's happening in Wamunyoro. We look at the fact that it's coming from
No,
the
let's talk about
taxpayer.
the maintenance of building because you are saying it's billions. It
No.
wasn't. It's
There's-
just about 100 billion. 100 million.
Because here, no, I was looking at the budget. So your budget was 4.57 billion.
Yeah,
This
but
was
it is full
yes,
of so many
yes,
components,
yes, let's go
including
down.
salaries
Yes,
and allowances.
let's go down. So this is brought back to 2.69 billion. So inclusive of salaries, how many employees did you have?
I can't remember. I would
You
know some
understand?
details.
And
Those
how
are
much are
details I
they
wouldn't
getting
know.
paid? Is each getting paid a million shillings? Because if we take 2.69 billion, if you have 1,000 employees, each would have to get around 2.69 million.
I don't
Understand?
think I
And
would have. I don't
you'd have
think.
that
I don't
level
think
of
it is
employees.
fair to ask me how many employees are there or how much they
That's
are paid
'cause I'm trying
because
to-
I don't have such details. You know,
Yes.
as deputy president,
Yeah.
you have people who work under you. You have the chief of staff. You have people in human resource.
Mm.
An office is established by the Public Service Commission.
Yes.
It is not you who decides what is the establishment. And I did not start that office. That was an office that was functional for the last 10 years. It was not a new office.
Yes.
I found it going on, and employees there and were being paid before I came to office.
Mm.
Were being paid when I'm in office. And those are salaries that are not coming to me. The only thing you can ask me is my own salary, which is about 1 million shillings.
Mm.
The rest of the salaries go to other people, and they are public servants. And even when I left, they are still there.
Yes.
Yeah, they're still
So
there.
I've Googled and it's 542 employees. And this is the things we'd have to ask, like, why do you need this amount of employees? And if they are taking up a salary that goes into billions, don't you see there's a certain level of incompetence
I
that
think
comes with
I think
that?
you are a bit unreasonable in the sense that you must know every office has a structure and an establishment that is approved by the Public Service Commission. That establishment is informed by the activities in that office. The
Yes.
office of the Deputy President has very many activities. And if there are 500 employees, somebody must have sat down and decided that that's the right establishment. That
Okay.
decision is not made by the Deputy President. That decision is made by the Public Service Commission.
But we
So
talk-
you
talk
cannot
about
ask
skills.
you cannot ask the person who was in that office why there are 500 employees, because that is not his decision.
But
No,
let
I'm
me
asking you
let me
that.
align it.
Acha nini, ya mwisho, pole. I'm asking you that because when you left office, you left with 108 people. What are 108 people advising you about? So these were like your advisors and officials. It's too much.
They were not 100. If they were 108,
That's how it was reported in the
yeah,
media.
they sacked even the gardeners and the watchmen and the cooks and everybody who was there, who came when I was there, which was very unfair.
Street and senior
Because
officers.
gardeners,
Then those
gardeners,
are not PSC employees of focus.
they are PSC employees, but they were on contract, and the contract was tied to my contract. Okay, what happens is that when you come in, there are certain cadres that are tied to your contract. So when mine left, they were exited and others were brought in, which was very unfair. These gardeners, if you needed to punish Rigathi Gachagua, there was no need to punish the people who sweep around the compound. There is no need to punish the people who make tea, the people who are in communication, photographers, videographers. Those are the people who are sacked with me.
Because here it's written, it's advisors and senior officers.
No.
Not.
Advisors were very few.
How many?
I wouldn't know how many there were, but very few,
Yeah.
extremely few.
Yeah,
The people, the
advice.
back of the people was communication
Mm.
and subordinate staff. People who are looking after the compound. It's a huge compound, almost 25 acres. People who are there. People who are cleaning cars, drivers, cooks, people who are in hospitality.
But
making
why
tea.
why would those people have been employed by you directly? Because those
Not
ones
me.
should come with the
by
office.
the office.
But how can they be fired?
No, that is a law. That is a law. At a certain position, when you come in, there are certain cadre that you are allowed to recruit in your tenure.
Okay.
And you see what happened.
You
see the previous held when the ones who are there, their contract was tied to the tenure of William Ruto. So
Yes.
when he left, they left. Those jobs needed to be
So
done.
even
by
the
other
gardeners left or
people. Yeah, they
Ruto?
did. They did.
Okay.
Their contracts expired.
Okay.
You see,
Yeah.
when Africa is raising such things, these are the things that are making the larger part of the population of Kenya very angry, because it's a population of the young people. But then instead of creating spaces where we develop a country, we just have a replication of, roles, perhaps. The bigger question would be then, you want to lead this country, how different would you do it, and how would you deal with this youth bulge? Because you have a big population of about 70% who are young people and
now
jobless.
I think we are talking. I think now we are leaving nitty-gritties that are really, in my view, not very necessary. What do we do with our young population? That's the crux of the matter. It's actually a national crisis. And I have been with some young people who came to see me yesterday, content creators. We've been together, we spent the whole night together, just asking ourselves, what do we do with the youth question? The people who are graduating every day to the job market, some 1 million people. And there is no absorption capacity. And I am saying that from where I sit, my first priority as president is to sit down with my people to come up with a very clear program on how to create job opportunities. And one of the ways is import substitution, so that we stop importing everything from China, from Japan, from where, and create factories here so that we can create employment. And once you create employment here, you also automatically enlarge the tax bracket, because those people who are employed, they start paying pay as you earn, and that will help, the Kenya Revenue Authority to get revenue for development. So we must look at ways of how to stop importing things and try to
press upon foreigners, instead of us importing steel from China, to come and create a factory here to produce steel, so that the people who own that factory can employ our young people to work there. Agro-processing, value addition. There are very many great opportunities in this country where we can create employment for our young population. Again, we must look at issues of financial inclusion. Not everybody must get a white-collar job. Our young people are very innovative and they are very creative. I've just been talking to them. What we need to come up with is a very good program on how we can provide affordable credit to our young people and train them on how to manage those funds so that they can create jobs for themselves and for their brothers and sisters and their friends and their cousins. So as far as I'm concerned, the greatest challenge to any leader and to the 6th President of the Republic of Kenya is how to create more job opportunities. It is how to get our young population to become participants in the economic growth of this country. As it is today, they are just there at home. And that is why they are getting into problems. Through peer pressure, they get involved into alcoholism, into drug abuse. Others are committing suicide. Others are having depression. The new government must be very deliberate in trying to create opportunities for our young people, you know? And I believe that those opportunities exist. It's only that there must be political goodwill. We must have a government that is willing to go out of its way to create opportunities for our young people. And this will be done through manufacturing, agro-processing, where we can start small cottage industries, even in the rural areas, you know, where we can have a coffee popping machine, you know, where we can have people packing tea, where we can have people packing avocado, where we just create opportunities through agro-processing and value addition for our crops, because Kenya is basically an agricultural country and there are very many opportunities. Again, is where the Juakali sector, we make sure that we are not having foreigners competing with our people. It cannot be. Today, when you go to Gekomba and Kamukunji, the Chinese have taken over our economy. They are bringing things and they are also hawking the same. Instead of bringing whatever they are bringing and sell to our people to hawk and create a business opportunity, they are actually doing the hawking themselves. But I'm of the opinion, to the extent possible, we have import substitution. Anything that we can manufacture in this country, instead of importing from China, we go there and have a conversation with the Chinese investors, give them tax holidays, give them economic incentives to come and start those factories here in Nairobi. Transfer the factory from Beijing to Nairobi or Mombasa. Same factory, instead of doing it there and giving work to the Chinese people, bring the factory here in Nairobi and they can employ the people of Kenya. That is what I would be pursuing, and I'm persuaded that within 5 years, we would make remarkable progress and absorb a huge population of our young people into gainful employment.
Okay,
See,
sorry.
we've
let
had
me
these
just
promises
finish
before.
this. Before we go to the promises, the question would be, you are making this decision for the young people as the older generation, and you're saying you've been talking to the young people. What is the place of the young people in this decision making, such that they're not on the menu to be consumed,
Yeah.
but they're the people coming up with the menu?
Absolutely. Last night, one of a guy I had, he's called Chris Kirubi. He interviewed me. We had more than 14,000 people watching the program. And he told me, Rigiji, we love you, we trust you. But believe you me, if you give you this job and you let us down, we will turn against you the way we have turned against Ruto. I'm aware that these people cannot take promises. They want action. My very honest proposal to the young people, and I'm talking to them, we want them to be part of the decision-making process. We want them to come to the table so that we make these decisions together, so that when things go wrong, they don't pay for my blood. We hang together. I am saying that the administration that I want to lead the young people will be part of the decision-making process. I want to bring young people to work with experienced people. I want to have a blend of experience and proven track record, working with youthful, energetic, innovative young people. A combination of the two is what this country needs. Experienced old hearts, people who have seen it, who can mentor young people, and then the young people have the energy to drive what has been agreed on. They are innovative, they are creative, they are knowledgeable, they have exposure. I am proposing a government that has a mixture of experienced, tested group of people working together with young, energetic, creative, young people. I don't think with a combination of the two we can get it wrong. I am persuaded we cannot get it wrong. If you come to my party, DCP, I've already started our model. Out of the national executive of 32 people, 17 are below the age of 35. DCP has become the party of the moment, courtesy of those young people. They challenge us with great ideas every day. I've told you since yesterday, I've spent 2 days with young people. If you look at TikTok, you see the programs we are making with them. And I'm a better person than I was before I came to Nyeri yesterday. I have known many things I did not know, courtesy of engaging, listening, and taking seriously what the young people are saying. My administration will be made up of both. And the young people will be part of the decision-making process. They will be on the table, they will not be the menu. And they will drive the changes that we so desire. And I have told them very clearly that they must start by driving the change that we desire. And they have the capacity and the numbers. They are the majority in this country. They are incorruptible. They cannot be bribed by anybody. They are tribeless. And they have a determination and a zeal that has not been witnessed in this country since independence. I have told them their first job is to register as voters and come out and vote. I have told them in the process of voting for Rigathi Gachagua, they must also vote for themselves. They must run for the positions that are available. They must occupy the county assemblies. They are graduates. They can go there and make good laws for their counties. They must run for National Assembly positions. They must run for the Senate. You know, if they are not able to run for the governor, no problem. But at least the county assembly, the National Assembly and the Senate, we should have very youthful faces in the next dispensation. Again, in my administration, in the executive, I'll bring them in as principal secretaries, as ambassadors, as CEOs of state parastatals. And I can tell you, only a fool can ignore the young population. I must tell you, without an iota of doubt, listening to these young people, most of them know much more than I do. I have lived 61 years. I have listened to some people here 25 years, 26 years. I'm amazed by what they know. And I am that kind of leader who is not arrogant and who is not dismissive and who is not imposing, that I cannot buy advice by young people. I have 2 young boys, 30-something, early 30s. They are the ones who tell me what to do in terms of running our businesses. They know much more than I do. They are more informed. They are more exposed. And I listen to them very keenly. And I gain a lot. I'm a better person by working with them. So I'm not dismissive. There are leaders who dismiss these young people, that they know nothing. I am telling you here today on air, most young people I've discussed with, I must admit they know much more than I do.
Yes, before we I even ask you about the promises that I wanted to ask you, can you say, you said like you learned a few things that the youth want that you didn't know before. So what did you learn yesterday? Like what stands out of everything you learned yesterday?
Well, the young people told me yesterday that never make difficult decisions in a hurry. Young people. I was opening my mouth listening to them. They said, if you decide you want to write a letter and dismiss a work, who has wronged you.
Okay.
Write the letter, but
I
don't
thought-
sign it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sleep over it. If in the morning you still feel you should sack the worker, sign it. But
Okay.
they told me 9 out of 10 cases you not sign it, you have changed your mind.
Okay.
Those are young people telling me.
Okay, I thought it was like something political.
No.
So now, let's go back to the promises. I remember seeing Uhuru and standing next to stadiums. I remember Ruto telling us when he comes in, he's going to do 1, 2, 3 things. That's why you talked about I concentrate on the nitty-gritties. That's the reason, because I've had this conversation before. Like when I listen to you right now, I can take your speech and put Ruto in 2022 and I'll get the same thing, where we are going to create jobs, we are going to bring manufacturing, but it never happens. Understand? So there's a lot of youth even right now listening to you and they're like, we've had this before. So do you understand there's that disconnect between the political class and the average
So
Kenyan,
what do you do?
where the promises just don't make sense?
So do
Like
I,
we've-
because Ruto promised and never delivered, I cannot make a
Uhuru
promise?
also promised and never delivered.
No, I'm
You
saying,
know the 5 stadiums?
I'm asking, the question is,
Yes.
does it mean because Uhuru and Ruto promised and they didn't,
Yes.
I shouldn't? I'm not Ruto, I'm not Uhuru, I'm Gachagua.
We need to, that's why we are concentrating on the nitty-gritties, because the
No,
nitty-gritties
but I'm saying
show
I'm
us-
not, I cannot be condemned because of the failures of Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto, because I'm not Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm not William Ruto, I'm
Yes.
Rigathi Gachagua. I'll be judged on my own record.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if, because for you to run for president, your case is dependent on the judiciary at the moment, right? What if the courts decide you can't run?
Well, let's cross the bridge when we get there. I don't believe in counting the chicks before they're hatched. Let's cross the bridge when we get there. That is a presupposition. I don't want to guess. I'm a presidential candidate. I'm clear in my mind that I'm an innocent man. I have every confidence the courts will find me innocent of those charges, and I'll have my day in court. But I don't think I want to say what will happen if this happens or that doesn't happen. Let's cross the bridge when we get there.
So in line with that, of course, critics argue that the so-called united opposition may not get to 2027 together united.
That's William Ruto who says so. And his
He's one of
supporters.
them. There are many other critics.
Well, we also say he'll go nowhere, and he says he'll get somewhere. This is politics. People can say anything. That is what they were saying in 202. They were saying the opposition then is useless, and they cannot agree on one candidate, and they'll crumble, they'll fight. Then they agreed on Mwai Kibaki. The rest is history. We are hopeful. We are determined. We'll stay united to the end, and we'll give one presidential candidate. Our opponents have every right to doubt. They have every right to belittle us. They have every right to say we are stupid. They have every right to say we have no Sarah. They have every right to say we are thieves. That is the nature of politics. But that does not distract us from our focus. We are focused. We are going for it. We know what we need to do. And the people of Kenya have told us, you must stay together. You must stay united. We
But-
are determined not to let the people of Kenya down.
Do you understand how that brings a problem where you go on stage, you accuse Ruto of being a thief, he goes on stage and he accuses you of being a thief. And if you go back to the 2024 protest, that was one of the things that the Gen Z were saying. They were saying that they need clean leaders, leaders with integrity. So if I was to ask you right now as Rigathi Gachagua, would you say you're a leader of integrity?
Yes, I am, because I've stolen nothing.
Wow,
You know,
okay.
you know us when we say what Ruto has stolen, we say it. Today in the papers, they have stolen 10
Yes,
billion.
we'll talk
Listen,
about-
wait a minute.
Yes,
We are saying 10 billion have been stolen from eCitizen.
yes,
We are saying 50 billion shillings have been lost in SHA.
yes.
We are saying Kenya Pipeline has been sold for a song. We are saying Safaricom is being sold for a song. These are real issues that we are raising.
Okay.
William Ruto says we are thieves. What have we stolen?
Okay, let's go step by step. By 2022, you had a case where 200 million shillings of yours had been
That
frozen.
case was dismissed.
No, that's why we're going step by step. So 200 million had been frozen. Then you went on a debate with Martha Karua. What did you say your net worth was?
I don't think I want to get into that because
But you understand?
no,
why?
I'm just
Because
saying.
the
I'm just saying.
audience,
I don't
my-
think it is right.
my,
eh?
my, my,
I don't
my
think
audience,
I don't think it is right.
if I don't ask
I don't
that-
think it is right to talk about a
Can I-
case
can I
that
f-
was dismissed in
No,
court.
no. Can you let me? Nowadays, I think Gen Z says, "Let me land." So I want you to let me land. This is what I mean. My audience will, and I guess even her audience will demand that we ask this because it's about integrity. So the court case is happening. You're worth. You go and you debate Martha Karua. Do you remember what you said your net worth was?
I can't remember.
You said 800 million.
Yes.
And 200 million had been taken. So we guessed that by that time you had 600 million.
Yes.
But then around the same time, you had a court case
Yes.
about a land next to JKIA.
Yes.
And you never mentioned that land.
Yes.
You understand? If I'm talking about my net worth and I have a case in court, if I mention the 200,000 shillings that's being held, I'll also mention the 1.5 billion piece of land. I can't say nikiwa, like the way we speak in Sheng, I can't say niko na thao mbili na saa hiyo kuna mtu
Well,
yuko
the only
na
difference.
thao yangu 10. You understand? So
No,
with that,
the only difference.
so now
let me
it
correct you.
means-
Let me
it
correct
means you're
you.
worth 2.3 billion.
Let me correct you. There's
Yes.
a very big difference between what I own as a person and what is owned by companies. That is owned by property. A limited liability company is a person on his own. That land is owned by a company. It's not my land. It's owned by a company. A company is a body corporate. So I talked about what I own as a person. Yeah, finished. And I am saying the laws of this country are very clear. You know, why do we have courts? We have courts to give justice. If somebody is accused of something and the court clears him, you cannot come 2 down, 3 down years line to ask me about it.
No, I'm not even asking that. What I'm asking is, okay, if it's owned by a company, you have to be owning a part of the shares in that company.
When the law, you see the law of public disclosure of your wealth, you declare what you own as Rigathi Gachagua.
Mm.
This farm here called Karandi, this Omanyor here.
Yes.
The title deed belongs to Rigathi Gachagua.
Mm.
This house and this land is worth like 45 million. That I can always do a disclosure. I own. My Nairobi house is 150 million. It's my land.
Yes.
But what is owned by companies where other people are shareholders, that's not my wealth.
But you understand why the question of integrity is important. Do we agree on that? Question of integrity?
But I'm saying, in terms of asking people what they own, you say what you own as a person.
Okay. Because with that in mind, you saw the headlines today?
About?
So the headline was, this was on Capital FM, Derito Gashagua's family petitions Ruto seeking probe into alleged forged will, asset fraud and disinheritance of the late governor's estate by his brother. And I can see your brother is on this. So I know you are very close to your brother. But now there's this rumor that's going around and it stayed there. It stayed since your impeachment. And the story is you disinherited your brother's family. So that's number one. None of your brother's family has ever come out to defend you. So it makes a very interesting situation. That's why, like last week when Ruto was talking about you, and then he talked about Eugene Wamalwa also disinheriting his brother's family, it brings up the question of integrity. You understand? Where if your brother can't trust you with his property and his family, how can we as Kenya trust you with our property? That's why I was telling you the question of integrity. Everything is interconnected. Yes?
My brother, we are in politics. And in politics, opponents say everything they want to say against their competitors. William Ruto is my competitor. William Ruto is not the patron of the Gachagua family. He's the president of the Republic of Kenya. He's supposed to look after public assets. 10 billion shillings have been stolen in his citizen. He's not talking about, wait a minute, let me talk. He's not talking about it. Okay? 50 billion shillings have been stolen in SHA. He's not talking about it. He's talking about Nairobi Hospital, which is a private hospital.
Wait a minute. This is not him. Yes.
Which is a private hospital.
Yes.
He is talking about the Gachagua family. Family matters are solved by families, not by the President of the Republic of Kenya. Family matters are sorted out in court in case they are there. The law of succession, my brother, it's not a matter for the President of Kenya to handle. The law of succession is handled by courts of law. If anybody is dissatisfied by what is happening in a succession implementation, you don't go to the President of Kenya. You go to court. That is the law. because the president of Kenya has no authority over families. Family law says the law of succession. The late Derito Gachagua died in the year 2017. He left a will. That will is studied at the Kenya School of Law as the most advanced will ever done in the Republic of Kenya that has taken care of everybody.
So you can get a copy of it?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
The late Gachagua left he wrote a will and gave his property to everybody. Not his wife or children alone. He gave his wife, 2 of them, and his children, 4 of them. He had other women in his life. He included them, 2 of them, and their children. He left a piece of his wealth to all his brothers and sisters, a total of 21 beneficiaries. He left a will and said all his properties should be sold and the proceeds distributed to the beneficiaries in a formula that he put down in his will. Some were getting 10%, others 5%, others 2%, others 3%. He left 3 executors, his lawyer, Njoroge Regeru, his longtime friend, Mwai Mathenge, and Rigathi Gachagua, his brother, as executors, with instructions to sell all his properties, pay his debts, there were many, and the balance distribute to the 21 beneficiaries in accordance with the formula.
So you didn't change any part of the will?
Yes, listen. The succession law says once a will has been read to the beneficiaries, you go to court. We went to court, all of us. And before the judge in 2018, all of us told the judge that we have agreed to the contents of the will. Okay? The court adopted the will. Okay? And allowed the executors to go ahead and execute it in accordance with the wishes of the deceased person. We embarked on that exercise as the executors and sold the properties, paid his debts, and distributed the balance to the beneficiaries in accordance with the wishes.
So
that happened in court 8 years ago. 8 years, nobody has ever spoken. All those beneficiaries have received the monies into their accounts and they never complained. William Ruto has decided to play politics with the Gachagua family. Met some of the family members yesterday and told them that he has the authority to recover most of the things that were sold and give them back to them. It is not possible. He's just lying to them. And it's okay. That matter was concluded in the court of law. Everybody was there before a judge. The records are there. And the judge asked each and every person by name, Rigathi Gachagua, do you agree? Yes. So and so, do you agree? Yes. The judge wrote it down and issued what you call a probate.
That was in
2018.
And that's public record.
Yes, public record. You know what is happening. Eh? William Ruto is playing politics. And because he wants to fight Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua has stolen nothing from the Kenyan public. Rigathi Gachagua is clean man. So he thinks he can come and interfere with family matters. One, he's meddlesome. This is our family. He's not a member of our family. Number 2, if there was a problem with the family estate, you go to court. You don't go to family. He's the chief of this area. When you have a problem and you have no money to go to court, you go to the chief. If you have money, you go to court. This matter was concluded in court by consent. Nobody said no. And records are there. Those 4 or 5 people he met yesterday, all of them have received money. When we sold Olive Garden, the ones for 10%, they got 50 million. The ones for 5% got 25 million. Everybody has gotten their own money. So this is politics. And it's unfortunate that when our country has so many problems, the president has abandoned his work to look after the country. He is now meddling in families. He's meddling in private institutions like Nairobi Hospital. He is meddling in my family, thinking he's fighting Rigathi Gachagua. I want to tell my relatives to be careful. That William Ruto misused me. He's misusing them. And they'll be very embarrassed when these documents come out in court, into the public, because they will be released. I've just talked to the family, our brother, my brother who is elder, the eldest one, he is very annoyed. And the other family, those are 4 beneficiaries. They are 21 beneficiaries. My brothers, my sisters, they have tried to reach them out to give them money to spoil my name. They have said they cannot. Blood is thicker than water. But a few family members have been conned by William Ruto. And I really sympathize with them because, one, I know they are having challenges, which is normal. I hear one of my niece has been promised a position in the board so that they can complain against, which is okay. If she can get something to eat, that's okay. I hear one of the ladies has been promised some business opportunities. I hear they were also given some little money, which is okay because I don't have money to give them. But I want to say the issue of the late Gachagua was concluded. The estate has been distributed. It's over. It's a closed matter. There's nothing remaining. Everything has been sold. Everybody has been given money. All of them have received. Nobody has ever complained. It is now 9 years since he died. Why has this matter all of a sudden come out? And it is William Ruto who is talking about it. He's not a member of our family. And that is not his work. His work is to look after Kenya. If there is a problem within any family in Kenya, families have a way they sort out their disputes. And there is none in my family. He's the one who is meddling in our family. He's the one who is trying to bribe people in my family to cause discord in my family. If you remember, my sister, my brother, all prominent families have been fighting in court for years. The Gachagua family has never fought in court. His will was the best. He made sure he took care of everybody. My late mother, she was alive. He left her 5%. Rigathi Gachagua, he left me 5%. His 2 wives, 5%. His other women he had, he left their children their property. His brothers, his sisters, there is nobody who has ever complained. And you have never seen our issues in the newspapers. Anytime you have heard about the Gachagua, it is from the politicians, not from the family members. And when now they realize that that is not happening, yesterday, the member of parliament here called Wamombi, he took them to State House at 6:30 in a white Pajero owned by Susan Derito, one of my niece. And there the Ruto cheated them. They told them to sign some letters. Those are the letters that are circulating. I don't care. It's really nothing. It's hot air, it's politics. We'll dismantle it when my brother turns up and we meet as a family. We'll ask our lawyer to write back to the president and tell him to keep off our family.
How many
you are
kids,
not part of our family.
How many nephews and nieces do you have from Derito?
I think 4.
4. So it's the 4 that have complained.
Yeah, I think so. But we have other beneficiaries. We have other children from Derito. We have his brothers. We have his sisters. We have everybody.
Since you've talked about the percentages, what percent were they getting that they feel dissatisfied? Because you see,
that is their father.
It was their fathers.
You know, if they wanted to challenge the will, they should have challenged it then. They didn't. And they were given the opportunity in court before a judge. The judge asked, so-and-so, are you satisfied? Yes. So-and-so, are you satisfied? Yes. They should shut up and shut up forever. Or if they want to go to court, they go back to court. The window for appeal is over. Number 2, they did not dispute at that time. The matter is closed. They are just playing politics.
But in 2024, it was not closed. You remember it started?
No, I'm saying there were just accusations on politicians. The matter was closed a long time ago. All the properties were sold to third parties. And the money was distributed to them and they received the money.
So
and
this
the
is
documents
politics.
are there. Yeah.
So you're saying it's
This politics is nonsense. It's William Ruto trying to meddle with my family because he has tried to fight me and it's not working. I'm a popular leader and Kenyans trust me. He wants to destroy my character and my integrity so that Kenyans stop listening to me. He has sent DCI to try to look for crime I've committed in Kenya. There is nothing.
Okay. There's also
he has now gone to the family, to tell the family, you come here, we can help you. All the things that were sold by the estate, you recover. Before anything was sold, there were meetings with the family, there are minutes. Everybody was in agreement and nobody has ever had a problem. And all these children, all these wives have received the money and they have used it. And they were in court before a judge in 2018, called Achode. And all of them were there. It was recorded, and a probate was issued, and we were given the go-ahead to execute the will that was left by Gachagua. And the instructions were clear: sell everything. I don't want to give anything to anybody. Sell everything. Pay my debts. The balance, distribute to the beneficiaries in accordance with the will. 10%, 5, 4, 3, 1.
Okay.
That was his wish.
So the other scandal that has kept coming actually was in last month. Yes, the president had a tour in Northeastern, and when you asked for accountability, there was a case where they kept saying that you're complaining because they're going to distribute relief food to the people on that side, and they kept saying that when you were DO, you had a scandal and you were sacked because you stole relief food.
But I'm asking you, my dear, I was a DO in. I left work in 2021. William Ruto picked me 2001. He picked me to be his running mate. How many years later? 20.
Yes.
Didn't he know I had a case? He has only known I have a case now that I'm opposed to him. It's rubbish. It's nonsense. And criminal matters have no time limit. If I stole food, William Ruto can take me to court tomorrow. It's all nonsense. It's really a very desperate man, who is just spreading propaganda, And I have seen even him saying, oh, some girls were impregnated, oh, some girls were killed. They have been here trying to look for the relatives, oh, we can give you 10 million, you say this, you say that. It's all nonsense. And I really don't want to bother with those things, because those things have been said by bloggers opposed to me for the last 5 years. I'm very embarrassed when I see a president of a country picking content from bloggers and talking about it on top of a car. And a president of a country that is struggling, where people have been killed, people have been found in a mass grave, he's not addressing that issue. 43 people have been killed in a mass grave. He's not addressing that matter. The country has a debt of 12.9 trillion. He's not addressing that matter. He's addressing nonsense. That he can get in top of a car to say that a cow of somebody died because of a tick. Just how petty can a president be? When the country is struggling so much with so many problems. Kenyans are asking themselves, where did we go wrong? How can a president of a country be so petty, so reckless to handle personal issues of Kenyan citizens that are a result of rumors and gossip, instead of handling the real issues that are affecting the people of this country?
You understand also the fact you say you left office in 2001 and he's bringing it up right now, 25 years later. Can you also understand him also can say that he was with you in 2022 and you never brought up Kiambaa, but lately you brought up Kiambaa? You understand why it's the same sort of argument where if he was good enough to be a running mate.
Well, the only difference, the matter of Kiambaa is of public interest. He is bringing things that are of a personal nature. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Listen, my friend. But he is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He has a responsibility to bring things that are of concern to the people of Kenya. Yeah, personal things about a family. This one family. There are more than 20 million families in Kenya who are having challenges. Why is he not bringing their challenges?
Okay.
It is only because he has a personal vendetta with me, because he knows I'm going to run him out of office.
So let me ask you.
Replace him as president. What is happening is he is on a mission to spoil my name, because Kenyans trust me. Kenyans are listening to me. But I can tell you, Kenyans are also very intelligent. I have looked at the social media responses. He is being to tell us about Kenya, and tell us about families.
And the same Kenyans are saying you could actually be working with President Ruto on the side.
To do what?
It's politics, as you said.
How could I be working with him on the side? I want to remove him from power. And he is resisting. And he is feeling the heat from me.
So if he approached you, would you work with President Ruto again?
I cannot work with William Ruto. He is wrong for this country. He is responsible for the hole we are in as a country. Mwai Kibaki left us a working free primary education program. He has ruined it. We had a good program for university financing, help. He has ruined it. We had a working NHIF program. He has ruined it. He has abducted children. They have been killed. How can I work with such a man? I have no business.
But you see, you've said he has abducted children, he has killed them. Let's go back to Kiambaa. You wouldn't say that you didn't know about Kiambaa in 2007. He's always been the main suspect in quotes. And you worked with him.
Yes,
you
we did.
endorsed him.
We did.
You said this is the best
We
guy
did.
to
We
lead
did.
Kenya.
We did.
You can't then come back a few years later after
No,
you fought with him to say
Yes.
now Kiambaa
No,
is
I
an
can.
issue.
Let me
Because it
let me
means-
tell you why.
let me finish my point. It means that you will tolerate anything as long as you're on the side of that person.
Not necessarily.
And as soon as
Not
you're on
necessarily.
different sides, you'll be like,
Not
nah,
necessarily.
this is the worst guy.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian. Forgiveness is a very important aspect of our Christianity.
So you took back your forgiveness.
I'm saying, listen to me. I think it's
Yeah.
fair you also let me speak.
Yes.
It's a very important aspect of our Christianity. I and my people, the Kikuyu nation, were feeling very bad about Kiambaa and the 2000 atrocities, whose Ruto was charged with crimes against humanity. But Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta came together, forgave each other, and asked the two communities to forgive each other. And we said, we'll forgive, but we will not forget. And we said, let bygones be bygones. And we left it. And we believed, in all honesty, that William Ruto was a changed man. And anybody can change. Saul can become Paul. And he was sweet talking, and we were convinced he's a changed man, and he cannot go back to his ways. But the minute he got into office,